Alright, welcome to another tech episode for all you Aries fans. So today what I have is an M4A1 Aries rifle AEG that I wanted to always use a stubby stock for, because I'm one of those people that use UCM and a MOSFET from Extreme Fire, but anyone who's used those knows that they're a little bit big and it's hard to stuff them all in a buffer tube and crane stock. But what I found is a G&P HK416 stubby. So what I plan to do is stuff the MOSFET and the UCM into the stock plus the battery, because I like my rifles to be clean and not to have a bag swishing around. But of course, anyone who's worked with this HK 416 stubbies is that you have to do some modifications to your M4 lowers. And Aries is very particular. So this one I already modified it, but I'll go over what you have to do. But if you notice that for anyone who's using the Elite Force M4A1 or the Aries S-Class M4A1s, they're basically the same rifle, is that it's a smaller opening here and it's a little bit longer in the buffer tube area. The reason why I widened this is because I want to use the G&P quick disconnect, and this allows me to use it with the stubby. You got to remember that the set that you buy in G&P is they only come with one buffer tube ring, so you're gonna have to buy an extra one to get this quick disconnect to work, because one ring will go to the buffer tube, one will go to the back of the stubby. The screw that comes with the HK 416 will not, I mean, the dimension wise it will not work with the Aries. So what you have to do is go to a hardware store, get a 1032 screw and have it about 2.5 or maybe 2 3/4 in length. So this one I bought from hardware store, 20 cents. The Aries stock guide and also the aftermarket ball bearing ones will use the screw already tested. So 1032s, even though a lot of people think it's M5 millimeter and it's not going to thread in very well. For some reason Aries is very particular on their spring guide, so you have to use a 1032 screw for the stock, or you want to use the ball bearing guide. So I already did all the measurements for how to shave the Elite Force lower, or Aries lower is. First thing first is you want to shave off this area. I got a drill bit and pretty much just shaved the whole area here. I mean, you just want to shave enough that the quick disconnect will fit into the receiver nicely. So you want that little part here to go in nicely into the receiver snugly. So I already did that. You could see that I did just enough shaving so it stays tight. And what you're going to need to do, I already did the measurement, you got to get a hacksaw and cut off 10 millimeters at the end of the buffer tube of the lower. So like I said, use a hacksaw, cut off 10 millimeters here. Use a drill bit, enlarge this area to get your 416 stock to work. Even though G&P states that you cut off 25 millimeter, save 25 millimeter of your lower, you'd be cutting too short. So I already did the measurements. You only need to cut off 10 millimeter from the rear, and you'll get this whole system with the quick disconnect and the 416 stubby to fit. So this is my prototype lower. So I already know how much cuts I wanted to make. So modified my tan Aries lower so that the color matching scheme would match my gun. So this one I'll put away. That was my test model. So what I did was I cut off 10 millimeters of the rear, and the rear stock should fit. So let's see if all this stuff starts fitting. And the QD. Whew, barely fit through the QD slot. Yeah, this is for the MOSFET and UCM. Trying to fit them all through. Not so happy. Too many people trying to get through this one little channel. Go. So it looks like we're doing pretty good. Let's see if the stock will go in. Alright. Put the screw in first so it doesn't make your life so hard trying to screw it in. Oops. It gets a little tricky when you play with a short screw with the stubby stock. It doesn't get easy. Alright, there we go. Got the screw through. Now we'll start trying to stuff all these things in. Yeah, next time I should make the lines a little bit longer, but like I said, this Aries was my first one to use the UCM, so you never know how much wiring you really need, but always make it longer than what you originally need it for, so that everything will fit in and not have to go through all this. Yeah, next time I'll make it much longer when I rewire this thing. Where's my screw? Here it is. Start screwing in the screw. Okay, come on. Yeah, right now I'm trying to get the screw to fit down to the hole here a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you really can't see it on the camera, but anyone knows that obviously you're supposed to get the screw to tie down to the spring guide. So it looks like everything's going in. And there you go. Now you could use a stubby on the Aries, a stubby HK416 onto an Aries. So, of course, what I should have done was make the wiring a little bit longer, and now I'm going to have a heck of a time playing with this whole thing, but it'll go in eventually. But as you can see, yes, you can make the stubby, G&P stubby HK416 fit. You already saw me fit the G&P 416, so what I did now is I stuffed in the UCM and MOSFET into the stubby. Remind you, when I first made the gun, it was running on a pouch on an outer crane stock. So if I was going to do it right again, I made the wiring a little bit longer. But as you can see, it will run inside the stubby. Yeah, don't mind the shimming. There you go. So yes, you can fit a G&P 416 into the stubby. For you people wondering how it looks, here it is. As you can see, the H&K obviously 416 G&P 416 stock is definitely a sand color.